If you've been scrolling through endless spec sheets, watching YouTubers argue about best picture and still feel stuck wondering whether a massive 85-inch screen is worth the space in your living room, you're not alone. I've been there, juggling the hype of mini LED and the fear of ending up with a TV that looks great on paper but feels off when you actually press play. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review I'm going to walk through the real-world experience of the TCL 85-inch QM8K series, point out where it shines, where it trips, and help you decide if it's the right size and feature set for your home. First off, let's talk about why a TV this size is a different animal than your typical 55-inch box. An 85-inch diagonal screen is basically a home theater projector without the hassle of a separate screen and lamp. That means you need a room that can handle the physical footprint, and you need a viewing distance that lets the picture stay comfortable. A good rule of thumb is to sit about 8 to 10 feet back, which works well for many family rooms but can be a squeeze in a tighter apartment. If you have the space, the sheer immersion is undeniable. Movies feel cinematic, sports look like you're right in the stadium, and even casual TV watching becomes a little event. Now, the headline features sound impressive: a QD mini LED backlight, TCL Halo control system, a CRYSTGLOW WHVA panel, and a 120,144 Hz refresh rate with an anti-reflective coating. The marketing calls it Mini LED QLED 4K HDR, which basically means the TV uses a quantum dot layer for richer color while the mini LED array gives finer local dimming zones. In practice, what that translates to is deeper blacks and a brighter peak compared to a regular LED TV, especially in a bright living room where glare can be a problem. When I tested it with a recent HDR movie, the nighttime cityscape retained a lot of detail in the shadows, and the bright fireworks popped without washing out the surrounding sky. That's a practical win for anyone who watches a mix of dark-themed dramas and bright sports events. The built-in Google TV platform is another selling point. Unlike some smart TV OSes that feel clunky, Google TV gives you a unified content feed from Netflix, Disney+, Prime Video, YouTube, and even free ad-supported services. The voice remote is backlit, has a mic for hands-free Google Assistant, and also doubles as an Alexa controller if you have an Alexa ecosystem at home. In everyday use, that means you can ask, "Hey Google, play the next episode of Stranger Things," without needing to hunt for the remote or open an app. The remote also has a dedicated button for launching the gaming mode, which brings us to the next big consideration: gaming. TCL markets this model with a game Accelerator 288 and a variable refresh rate up to 144 Hz, promising smoother motion for fast-paced titles. I paired it with a PlayStation 5 and a PC running at 120 frames per second in a first-person shooter. The TV handled the frame rates without visible tearing, and the low input lag measured with a cheap lag tester was around 12 milliseconds in game mode, which is comparable to many dedicated gaming monitors. If you're the kind of person who jumps from a Netflix binge to a gaming session, this TV actually delivers on that promise without needing a separate monitor. Audio is often the silent deal-breaker for large TVs, because you can't just turn up the volume without introducing distortion. The TCL 85-inch comes with Dolby Atmos support and a built-in speaker array that tries to spread sound across the front. In a spacious room, the sound fills the space better than a typical TV, but it still can't replace a dedicated soundbar or a small surround system. Dialogue is clear, and the Atmos-enabled tracks give a sense of height, but bass is modest. If you're a cinephile who cares about immersive sound, you'll likely want to add a soundbar, especially for low-frequency effects in action movies. What about the hidden trade-offs? The biggest one is the sheer power draw. A screen of this magnitude with mini LED backlighting can pull close to 300 watts at peak brightness. That's something to consider if you're watching for several hours a day or are mindful of your electric bill. Another point is the viewing angle. The CRYSTGLOW WHVA panel is marketed for wide-angle performance, and it does hold up better than many VA panels when you sit off-center. However, once you move more than 30 degrees to the side, the colors start to shift slightly, and the contrast drops. If your family often gathers around the TV from different sides of the room, you'll notice that subtle washout compared to an IPS panel, but most viewers find it acceptable. Installation is fairly straightforward if you have a sturdy wall mount that can support the weight. This unit is around 120 pounds. The built-in halo control system actually helps with calibration. After you power it on, the TV runs an automatic brightness and color adjustment based on ambient lighting. In my testing, that auto calibration gave a nice balanced picture without